Today on CBR, we'll tell you everything we know about Doctor Strange. Let's get started. Dr. Stephen Strange didn't always have the mystic powers we know him for today. In fact, the guy was initially one of the most arrogant characters in the Marvel universe. He was a brilliant, hotshot neurosurgeon, basically the Tony Stark of the medical world. In the comics, Strange was considered the best of the best. His hands were his most prized possession. They were precision tools capable of performing life-saving surgeries that others could only dream of. But it wasn't just his skills that made him a big deal. It was his absolute, unshakable belief that he was untouchable. That kind of confidence, or maybe overconfidence, is part of what made Doctor Strange the person he was. Let's start with his origins in the comics. Dr. Stephen Strange was created by writer Stan Lee and artist Steve Ditko, making his debut in Strange Tales number 110 back in 1963. Right from the start, Strange was portrayed as a brilliant but deeply self-centered character. He was all about his ego and professional success. His career and pride meant everything to him. But, as is the case with many great origin stories, Strange's life took a dramatic turn. One night, Strange is involved in a severe car accident, during which his hands are permanently damaged. It's not just a simple broken bone situation. The nerves in his hands are severed, and no amount of medical expertise, even from the best doctors in the world, could heal them. As a result, he loses his ability to perform surgery, and with it, his identity. He goes from being the best surgeon in the world to a man with nothing. This, understandably, causes him to fall into deep despair. Strange, desperate to fix his hands and his life, spends his fortune on trying every possible treatment, but nothing works. Eventually, he hears whispers of a healer, a mystical figure in the far-off Himalayas, known as the Ancient One. Though he's skeptical of the idea of magic, Strange is at his wit's end and decides to journey to Tibet in search of the Ancient One, hoping that some kind of magical solution will exist for his condition. When Strange meets the Ancient One, he's initially dismissive and incredulous. After all, Strange was a man of science. He believed in the hard facts and tangible proof of the medical world. Magic to him seemed ridiculous. But as he witnesses the Ancient One's abilities firsthand, Strange starts to realize that his understanding of the world was extremely limited. The Ancient One teaches him that magic is real, and it's not just about waving wands and chanting spells. It's about understanding the true nature of the universe and the mind. Strange's journey from skeptic to student of the mystic arts is a slow, humbling one, but it's also a transformation that changes him at his core. After years of rigorous study and the shattering of his ego, Strange not only heals his hands, partly thanks to his magical knowledge, but he also grows into his role as a protector of Earth. He eventually inherits the title of Sorcerer Supreme after the death of his master, the Ancient One. As the Sorcerer Supreme, Strange becomes the guardian of Earth's magical defenses, using his skills to defend the planet from supernatural threats, beings, entities, and otherworldly forces that no one else can even comprehend. Now, if we fast forward to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, Doctor Strange's origin story is similar, but it has some unique twists that fit into the larger MCU narrative. In the Doctor Strange movie, 2016, the story hits many of the same beats from the comics, but with a few modern touches. In the MCU, Stephen Strange is played by Benedict Cumberbatch, and he's still a brilliant, egotistical neurosurgeon. But the movie also adds a bit more personality to his character. We see him as a highly successful, wealthy, and somewhat arrogant individual who's addicted to perfection in his work. He doesn't just treat his patients, he saves them, often performing risky surgeries that no one else dares to attempt. Strange is a man obsessed with being the best, even if it means putting his own personal safety and that of his patients on the line. This all comes crashing down when Strange is involved in a car accident that damages his hands beyond repair. Much like in the comics, his hands are so badly damaged that no doctor in the world can fix them. His career, his identity, and his sense of self-worth are shattered. In his desperation, Strange spends his money on every possible medical treatment, just like in the comics. He tries cutting-edge surgeries, experimental procedures, and even meditation therapies, but nothing works. It's here, in the depths of his despair, that he hears about the Ancient One, played by Tilda Swinton, a mystical figure who resides in the Himalayas. In the MCU, Doctor Strange's first encounter with the Ancient One is similar to the one in the comics. He's skeptical and unwilling to believe in the magic she presents to him. But after a series of events, including a trippy, mind-bending sequence where he's forced to open his mind to the mystic arts, Strange begins his training under the Ancient One. The MCU movie also delves into his internal struggle as he adjusts from being a scientist to someone who now understands that magic, and not just science, can shape the world around him. What's interesting in the MCU version is that Strange's arrogance isn't just about being the best surgeon. His ego is also a driving force in his desire to control things around him. When he first learns about magic, he tries to control it rather than respect it. But through his journey, he learns that magic isn't about control. It's about accepting the unknown, understanding that there's more to reality than what can be seen and measured, and learning humility. One of the most notable differences between the comics and the MCU version is how Doctor Strange uses the Eye of Agamotto in his battle with Dormammu in the Dark Dimension. While Dormammu is a constant foe in the comics, the MCU's take on the character gives us a more dramatic and visually spectacular showdown. Strange uses the Eye of Agamotto to manipulate time and create a time loop, forcing Dormammu into a standoff he can't win. This clever, out-of-the-box thinking demonstrates that Doctor Strange doesn't always rely on raw power. He's also incredibly resourceful and willing to use his brain to outsmart enemies who are far more powerful than he is. Ultimately, the MCU's version of Doctor Strange carries over the same essential elements from the comics: a brilliant, arrogant man who loses everything and must learn humility and selflessness to become Earth's protector against mystical threats. What makes the MCU's Doctor Strange unique is how he fits into a much larger universe that includes the Avengers, Thanos, and of course, the multiverse. His story arc plays a critical role in the larger narrative of the MCU, especially as we move toward the idea of a multiversal war in Doctor Strange, in the Multiverse of Madness and beyond. But what exactly makes Doctor Strange so powerful? Let's dive into the mind-blowing abilities that make him the Sorcerer Supreme. Doctor Strange isn't just the average superhero with enhanced strength or a cool suit. His power comes from his deep understanding of magic, interdimensional forces, and the manipulation of time and space. His abilities are rooted in ancient spells, artifacts, and incantations that allow him to do things that other Marvel characters can't even dream of. Let's break down some of his most iconic abilities: spellcasting and magic. Doctor Strange's powers are all about spellcasting and bending reality with magic. And let's be real, that's the good stuff. He doesn't just wave his hands and chant random words. He's harnessing raw mystical energy to reshape the world around him. One of his go-to tricks is defensive spells. Strange can whip up magical shields that protect him and others from pretty much anything, whether it's physical attacks or other types of magic. These shields are almost impenetrable, so you can bet he's not getting taken down easily by the average bad guy. When it comes to offense, Strange can sling magical blasts of energy or even summon weapons made out of pure magic like daggers or swords. These aren't your basic magic tricks. Strange can supercharge them with his knowledge of the multiverse, making his attacks incredibly powerful. Whether he's throwing energy bolts or using a magic sword, he's got a solid arsenal to deal with whatever comes his way. But wait, there's more! One of his signature moves is teleportation. By opening magical portals, imagine Doctor Strange meets Stargate. He can zip across dimensions or even travel through time. Forget about traffic. Strange can literally blink from one place to another in an instant. It's one of the most flexible abilities in his arsenal and makes him a total game changer in any fight or adventure. Master of the mystic arts, Doctor Strange is one of the most knowledgeable sorcerers in the Marvel universe. His training under the Ancient One granted him access to ancient texts, forgotten spells, and teachings that allow him to manipulate magic in ways that even other sorcerers struggle to understand. He is adept at conjuring magical energy, manipulating the elements, and even interacting with interdimensional beings. His knowledge isn't limited to just spells. He also understands the nuances of cosmic entities, interdimensional threats, and the true nature of the multiverse. This allows him to be a crucial player in the Marvel universe, particularly when it comes to dealing with forces that go beyond human comprehension. The Eye of Agamotto and time. If you've seen the Doctor Strange movies, you've probably noticed the iconic necklace he wears, the Eye of Agamotto. The eye is not just a cool fashion accessory, it's one of Doctor Strange's most powerful magical tools. The Eye of Agamotto allows Strange to manipulate time. It has the ability to reveal hidden truths, uncover illusions, and even manipulate the flow of time. This artifact is central to some of the most pivotal moments in Strange's story, such as his battle with Dormammu in the Dark Dimension. While the eye can't control time on a whim, it's a tool that gives Strange a significant advantage in cosmic battles where time itself is a weapon. The astral plane. One of the more mind-bending abilities in Doctor Strange's arsenal is his power of astral projection. This allows him to separate his consciousness from his physical body and exist as a spiritual entity in the astral plane. In this state, Strange can explore other dimensions, communicate with other worldly beings, and even interact with other souls. Astral projection has its limits, though. His body is still vulnerable when he's projecting, and some powerful beings can target his physical form while he's in his astral state. But when used strategically, it's a game changer in battles and quests. Dimensional travel. Doctor Strange is one of the few beings who can travel between dimensions. In the Marvel Universe, there are infinite realms and realities, and Strange has the knowledge and power to traverse them. This ability allows him to interact with otherworldly beings like Dormammu, the villainous ruler of the Dark Dimension, and the enigmatic cosmic entity known as the Living Tribunal. His knowledge of the multiverse gives him a distinct advantage over many other superheroes, who are usually bound by the rules of their own dimension. Strange can go anywhere at any time, and often does so to protect the Earth from threats that exist beyond its reality. The Cloak of Levitation. Last but not least, we can't forget about Doctor Strange's iconic Cloak of Levitation. This magical cloak allows him to float and fly through the air, which comes in handy when he's engaging in battles that span across entire cities or even galaxies. The cloak has a personality of its own, often appearing to act autonomously, helping Strange when he's in a bind or in need of assistance. It's more than just a simple accessory. It's an integral part of his magical arsenal. While Doctor Strange is well known for his magical abilities, there are plenty of hidden powers and connections within his story that even the most hardcore Marvel fans might not be fully aware of. Let's explore some of the deeper, more mysterious aspects of the character and his lore. The Sorcerer Supreme. The title, Sorcerer Supreme, isn't just a name, it's a position of responsibility and immense power. Doctor Strange is the current Sorcerer Supreme, but this title doesn't come without its cost. The Sorcerer Supreme is the guardian of Earth's mystical defenses, the protector of all realms and dimensions, and the one who holds the responsibility for maintaining the balance between magic and reality. It's a lonely, often perilous role, and Strange carries it with immense duty, but the title itself is often contested. There are beings from all across the multiverse, other mystics, celestial beings, and even deities who could challenge Strange for the mantle. The Ancient One wasn't the only one who held the title. In alternate realities, other versions of Strange have assumed the title as well. In our main Marvel Comics continuity, Stephen Strange holds the honor for a long time, though the current Sorcerer Supreme is Doctor Doom. In the MCU, while Doctor Strange was once the Sorcerer Supreme, Wong took over the role after Doctor Strange was snapped out of existence by Thanos, and he still holds the title, even after Strange's return. The Dark Dimension and Dormammu. Maybe one of the most iconic parts of Doctor Strange's journey is his encounter with Dormammu, the ruler of the Dark Dimension. Dormammu is a cosmic entity of unimaginable power who exists outside the bounds of normal time and space. He is one of Doctor Strange's most powerful and persistent adversaries. In the comics, Dormammu has clashed with Strange numerous times, trying to expand his reach and bring the Dark Dimension into Earth's reality. Strange's first encounter with Dormammu was a defining moment in his journey, as he ultimately tricked Dormammu into agreeing to leave Earth alone, using the very nature of time against him. The fact that Strange defeated such a formidable cosmic entity, using nothing but his wits and his mastery of magic, speaks volumes about his intelligence and abilities. The multiverse. As the Marvel Cinematic Universe has expanded, we've seen more and more references to the multiverse. The idea that there are countless alternate realities coexisting with our own. Doctor Strange plays a key role in the exploration of the multiverse, particularly in the movie Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. In the comics, Doctor Strange is no stranger to alternate realities. He's interacted with countless versions of himself, each with different powers, personalities, and even alignments. Some versions of Doctor Strange are heroes, while others are dark, twisted versions of himself who have turned to evil. The multiverse is a vast and dangerous place, and Strange's ability to navigate it makes him one of the most important figures in the Marvel Universe. The role of fate and destiny. Lastly, one of the recurring themes in Doctor Strange's story is the idea of fate and destiny. While Strange has often relied on his intellect and abilities to overcome challenges, there is always an element of destiny at play. The very fact that he became the Sorcerer Supreme seems to be part of a grander plan, something larger than himself. Doctor Strange often grapples with the question of whether his choices truly matter, or if his role as Sorcerer Supreme was inevitable. His journey isn't just about mastering magic, it's about accepting his place in the cosmic order and understanding that his fate is tied to the protection of reality itself. From surgeon to the protector of the multiverse, Doctor Strange has become one of Marvel's most unique and powerful heroes. He is truly one of a kind. There's no limit to what he can achieve, and that's what makes him so fascinating. What do you think of Doctor Strange's history and abilities? What stories do you want to see for him in the MCU? Let us know in the comments, and remember to subscribe. Thanks for watching CBR.